came to rescue me. I'm so glad you came to rescue me. I'm so glad you came to rescue me. I'm so glad. And what will you say when the name begins to walk? All because you chose to lay your hand. And what will you say, yeah, when the blind begins to see and the deaf begins to hear again? Come on, y'all. And what will you say, my God, will, when your home was gone closed because the banks, they just would not extend. But then the Lord, He moved the heart of man, and now your home belongs to you again. Lord, everybody say, I'm so glad you came to rescue me. I'm so glad you came to rescue me. I'm so
All right,
glad
all right. Welcome
you
back.
came
Welcome
to
back.
rescue me.
This is Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I'm your host, Annette Harris. We're here on another Wednesday, and we're excited. We're normally here from 12 until 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we are joined this afternoon by a wonderful guest, Ebony Moncho. She is an accountability coach. She's going to hold you accountable. She's also a speaker, well sought after speaker, and she is also an author. And she wants to make you. She wants to make make something out of you. She want to hold you accountable. Hey, you guys have been nice and throwing in comments and questions. Let me read some other things here. We And the phone lines, of course, again, are still open 708-223-8953. But he says here, oftentimes, in order to move on in your successful journey, it may require the pain of letting go of some things, some friends and associations. If you can't go with you, watch out now. Recognize you helping. Wait.
Who? I think that should be.
Recognizing who helped
Who's
you
helping you
along and who is holding you back. Thank you. All right, buddy. You kind of missed the word there, but thank you. I agree with that statement. Um, everybody can go. Everybody who came with you, everybody you started with. We even talked about circles earlier, and we have to be wise in our dealings. Sometimes we may not want to necessarily let some people go. Sometimes we may feel loyal to them for whatever reason, whether it's blood, you're related to them by blood or whatever. But sometimes you may have to cut the ties, depending,
Right.
depending on what they're giving out. um, I The last week when I was on my doing my anniversary show, my sister, and it's so funny, how sometimes when you go through different things, how other people look at it. When I was finishing my undergrad in psychology, I didn't tell my family or many people what my degree was, and she talked about that last week. Stay with me. I'm bringing this up for a reason. She talked about that last week. She said, my other sister and I, we were like, well, why is she not telling us what her degree is? And then when they found out what it was, which actually I don't think they found out until I walked across the stage. And I did not want to share it because, unfortunately, especially in the Black community, as far as psychology is concerned, taboo. It's taboo. People don't want to talk about it. They don't want to discuss it. And they think that if that's the area you're going into, then you must be cuckoo, for lack of a better word. And so I kept it. I didn't want to share it because I didn't want anybody crushing my dreams. I didn't want anybody dousing water on it or whatever, or, getting the fire extinguisher and then putting out, what I felt led to do. And it was almost like I had been working in the area of psychology before I started taking classes and going to school for it. So I'm like, I may as well go and get a degree in this or whatever. And it was, all flowing, but I did not want to share. And I actually had heard, individuals, they were talking about, it was somebody else who had attained their degree in psychology. And they talked about them like a dog, that's probably why they whatever. So I'm like, I'm keeping it. So with the key, you
Hmm.
find out when I walk out across the stage, and that's when many of them
Wow.
found out. So I said all that to say, sometimes you have to eliminate people. Sometimes you may have to keep your mouth shut,
Hmm.
so that you can be able to move forward and accomplish what you're trying to
Totally
accomplish.
agree.
Yeah.
Your sister said breaking news.
Oh no, she said breaking nets.
Oh,
Breaking
breaking
nets.
that.
Yeah. Hashtag breaking nets. Yes, that's right. Uh, but yeah, this is really great stuff. Let's see. A situation may not feel good, but it is working for our good. Dee says that as well. Um, there was something else that I saw here that I wanted to make mention, but I don't see it. Sometimes when you scroll down, you scroll back up, if the comment or something is not there. So I apologize. Maybe it'll pop back up. Let's see here. Okay, so out of my other questions that I had, so you talked about your background, you talked about 360, um, the her HR business that she started. You have, of course, reasonings for doing these conferences. When was your first conference with? Now you do conferences with Challenge Your Limits Foundation, or
So right now, last year I did a conference called Challenge Your Limits.
okay,
And it was in conjunction with the Challenge Your Limits Foundation. This year, well, not this year, it's in 2019, but 20, what year?
2020.
'Cause look, what year are we in? Yeah, 2020.
Right, right.
It's all rolling together. 2020, I'll be on a 12 city tour called the Purpose and Passion Tour, and that is under my umbrella, Ebony Moncho Ignites. So my purpose baby, so to speak,
Okay.
is what the tour is going to be. It'll be under that umbrella. So we're doing 12 months, 12 cities, 12 chances to walk in your ultimate and divine purpose.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And so you have them all lined up
Yeah,
where you're
so we January 11th is the first stop. We're hitting Phoenix, Arizona. And then after that, we're on to Huntsville, Alabama, and then to the A. You can't have a tour without going to the A. So the third stop in March will be in Atlanta, Georgia.
okay.
And so just some of the other places, we're going to St. Louis, Detroit. We'll be in Cleveland, Ohio. We will be in Montego Bay, Jamaica in November. So if anybody would like to join us, get on board. And we'll also be in Las Vegas. So yeah, we have a we'll be going
Full schedule.
full schedule, mainly the second Saturday of every month. We try to keep like a theme going, but yeah,
Okay.
that's what we're doing. That's what we'll be.
12 cities. All
Yep,
right.
12 months, 12 cities, 12 chances to walk in
Okay.
your divine purpose.
Love
Yep,
it.
you can check us out at thepurposeandpassiontour.com.
Now this is going to be your first time doing this type of
Yes,
tour.
yes.
Okay. But prior to, were you doing
Webinars.
okay.
Like I said, I did a women's conference last year. I have been like the guest speaker for other conferences and other things. And then corporate trainings on around goal setting, team building, delegating, that type of thing.
All right. So you kind of mainly go out in corporate settings to do that. And do you do personal coaching or
Hmm.
one-on-one with
Hmm.
individuals? They can contact you and
Yes. You
okay.
can go on my website, ebonymashow.com, and I do provide one-on-one coaching as well as a group coaching program. Hmm.
Okay. All right. I saw a lot of what are those statements from individuals who've been very satisfied with your work. I thought that was wonderful.
Receipts, girl. You gotta call them receipts. That's the receipts, girl. Gotta have the receipts.
She said receipts. Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking testimonials, but she said
Yes,
receipts.
yes, it's testimonials. Gotta have the receipts.
Gotta have the receipts of what you're doing. You don't know, you better ask somebody. No, but no, I mean that obviously attests to you and what you're doing, and obviously individuals are trusting of you and what you're putting forth, which is wonderful. They always say word of mouth is the best
Yes.
advertisement, and I'm sure you have individuals that come out of those conferences. Hey, you need to check her out or whatever because she did this and she does that. Um, Oh, Wit, thanks. See, she's on it. Wait, who did that? Oh
With
yeah, Wit and
Aunt
Shalonda.
Shalonda. Shalonda is my partner in with the Purpose and Passion
Okay,
Tour.com.
all right,
Yes, that's my
wonderful.
sis.
I love it.
Hmm.
So, what a purpose Passion Tour. Okay, and how long did it take for you to get set up for this tour? This 12 months, man, you're gonna be gone.
Right, girl. So so I would what is this? This is December. So in September actually is when
This
September this year.
is
Yep.
when what?
It's when I got this vision from God and
I-
was like, this is what you have to do, And I talked to Shalonda, and what was so crazy was when I went to Shalonda, like I was praying, asking God, who should I do this for myself or should I partner with somebody, right? And so I'm praying, asking God, and Shalonda just fell in my spirit. So I called her. I was like, sis, let's go out for lunch. We went out for lunch, and when I brought it to her, she was like, this is nothing but confirmation. She said because God had revealed to her that she would start to share her story of overcoming domestic violence to different women, trying to help them get the courage that they needed, right, to be set free as well. And so it was just like, yes, this is what has to happen. And we got the team together. We got Wit on the team as our PR and sponsorship manager. We have Natalie. We have Rachel Turner with Rosemont Media, who is our branding and social media person, and then we have Dara Michelle of Dara Michelle Events, and I mean, so we have the full team, and it just came together, and everybody on the team was like. Everybody kind of knew each other, but I didn't know that they all knew each other. I was just following God's lead on who to fill this role, who to fill that. And at our first meeting, everybody came together and it was like, hey girl, hey. And I said, y'all know each other already? And they were like, yeah, we've worked together before. And I was just like, thank you. Thank you, God, for a team that, like we all know, like it just was divine,
Right.
like a divine order. And we have been tracking just trucking ever since. And in terms of the cities, we just ask God to lead us on where to go. And it just so happens that the cities that he instructed us to go to are cities that we know people in already. So we have like boots on the ground that,
Resources.
yeah, that is helping with like the best place, or who to maybe have as a speaker or entertainment, or what are. So we're also, a portion of our proceeds are being donated to domestic violence shelters in each of the cities. So, we are getting in contact with shelters in each of the cities. So that way we can also not only be a blessing to the attendees that attend the conference, but to those shelters in each of those areas so they can continue to do what they do in the area of domestic violence.
Okay. Now, is Chicago on the list?
No.
She said no. She's gonna take it out. So y'all need to follow her. Oh my
Meet us in
gosh.
Jamaica. Everybody that's in Chicago, meet us in Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Come on, meet us in Jamaica.
Oh, and I kind of figured, I'm glad you said that about, in the different cities, you have individuals there that you kind of know. I mean, you use your resources.
Mhm.
You're reaching out. This is the vision God gave you. Okay, now you got to start somewhere or whatever. Maybe
Right.
someone here, or know somebody that knows somebody, or
Mhm.
whatever, and you kind of get it that way. And this is going to be great. 12 cities, 12
Yeah.
months, 12 chances.
Yep. So
Purpose
if
and
anybody,
Passion Tour.
yep. So if any of your listeners want to be a speaker, if they want to be a sponsor, if they know someone that can spoken word, miming, have got a singing group, we're taking talent as well. So sponsorship, talent, vending, if you want to be a vendor only. So now we're not doing like the Swaparama kind of vending, but if you have a motivational line, maybe like a motivational t-shirt, if you have candles, something like that goes along with the theme, rest, relaxation, motivation, inspirational type of thing, then yes, we're taking those type of vendors. And no tea, no shade to anybody else, but that's just, we want to keep in line with the theme of
Right.
what the event is about. But yeah,
Okay.
speakers, talent, sponsors, definitely, because we want to be a blessing to the domestic violence.
And you mentioned about what is it, what is it?
Shalonda.
Shalonda.
Mm-hmm.
Is going to share her story. So you have um, things like that. Individuals sharing their story
Mm-hmm.
and talking. Okay, this is great stuff.
Yeah, people will be talking about their stories of domestic violence and how they were able to overcome it. When you hear some of these stories, it's like, oh my God.
Are you going to DC?
We are not going to DC.
Any city in Maryland?
Nope.
No. Okay, because I had somebody out there I was going
But
for.
we are taking suggestions
Okay.
on, other tour stops that we may end up adding this year. If not, we have already started a 2021 list
Okay.
because we have people that have already said, wait a minute, my city not on the
My
list, my
city
city
not
not on
on
the list.
right.
So we started a 2021 list already.
Okay, well that's
Yep.
good stuff. Because a lot of times when people are more inclined to come to listen to see what you're doing if they understand and know that people are going to be transparent and share their journey to be able to help somebody else.
Right.
That kind of brings them out, and telling them I'm not the only one that has dealt with this or what have you. There are other people, and this is how they came out of it.
Mhm.
So I want to go and hear what they're talking about.
Right, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just your average inspirational conference where you just go and be inspired and then 2 days later when life happens, you've forgotten all of what you heard to be inspired 2 days before. People are going to be leaving with actual plans, written down plans. So that way, when life happens, you can go back to this plan of action that you created at the conference and you can get right back on track because you have it there. So, yeah, people will be leaving with the tools that they need in order to go smash.
Okay, so that's going to be your difference.
Yes.
And because you say you didn't want it to be a normal or a regular. All right, because that was going to be my next question.
Yes.
How are you going to make it different?
Mhm.
And because you have, people are they're doing the conferences, they're doing, seminars and and everything to help people, but I'm sure you want to stand out.
Right.
So that's excellent. To give them takeaways,
Mhm.
so that they will be able to follow up.
Yeah, you got to have some tools to put in your toolkit.
Yeah.
Yeah, your toolkit of life. You have
to.
tools.
My late pastor used to always say, when he get up to minister, now you may not need this message right now. Put it on the
Mhm.
shelf. You may have to
Mhm.
pull it back down,
Mhm.
for whatever you're facing with at such and such time. Lady Beverly says in Habakkuk 2:2, God had given the prophet a vision which disturbed the prophet. And after questioning God, the prophet repositioned himself and waited for God's response,
Mhm.
who then told Habakkuk to write the vision he had given him.
Yep.
Yeah, I tell you, the Lord will come and just tear up some stuff,
Won't he?
Won't he will?
Won't he will? Oh my God.
Demetrius Hudd, I think I called your name. LaSteiner is on. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you, my sister.
Yeah, she's
She
one of
did-
our speakers in Jamaica.
Is
She
she?
is. She's
Oh,
joining us
Lord,
in Jamaica.
LaSteiner, Lord have
Yes.
mercy. That girl is on fire too.
Yes,
she was
she
on here a
is.
few weeks ago as a guest, and she did a wonderful job. And I'm I call her my little sister now. I got
Yep.
got a new little sister.
Yes, that's my babe.
Oh, really wonderful. Stephen says that's my baby sister, who I'm extremely proud of. Stephen
Oh, hey,
McKee.
hey, bro.
All
Yep,
right
that's my
now.
big brother.
Oh, thanks for watching, sir. We appreciate you. Indiana and Missouri is close.
Yep.
Oh, for Chicago. Okay, thanks,
Right.
Whit.
Yep. Indiana.
I appreciate it. Oh, goodness. And she is on it. Speakers, sponsors, performers, go to purposeandpassiontour.com. Ebony Moncho is the truth. That's what LaSteiner says.
Oh, thanks, babe.
I agree. And I'm like all these connections here. I'm with y'all.
Right.
I'm with
You
all.
said when you went to request me on Facebook, it was like we have so many mutual friends.
We do. We
Yeah.
do. I think I saw that in one of our groups. It was a group that you and I are in, and I didn't even know that I was in this group.
Is it media? Is it?
I think so.
Wanda's?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm like, I know that name. She's gonna be a guest. And here we are. But no, this is again, as I said in the beginning, I appreciate when my sisters are going out and they're accomplishing and doing what they need to do, not only for themselves, but they're doing it to help somebody else.
Mhm.
And when you do it in the frame of mind, not being selfish, the Lord, He can't do nothing but bless you.
Bless you. Yes.
He can't do anything but bless you. And I would encourage you all to continue doing what you're doing. I'm seeing you with LaSteiner, you, Shalonda. Did I say it right?
Mhm.
Shalonda. Okay. I haven't met Shalonda, but yes, it seems like she's doing something great as well. So yeah, you guys go ahead and Oh, Steven says, don't forget Minnesota.
Right. Minnesota is on the stop.
It's on the stop of
Yep.
2020.
Minneapolis, Minnesota is one of our stops for 2020.
Okay.
Yes, we coming through there.
This is all right. This is all right. So, let's see. Tell me, um, I always have to throw curveballs in. You said that in September you got the idea to do this tour. All right, is that right? That's
Mhm.
accurate. Okay. What kind of curveballs were thrown your way or roadblocks, whether it was in your own mind or literally, to make you uh, doubt what you were to do?
So I can give you quite a few. So the first one would be like I was telling you first, the fact that I stutter,
Okay.
and I'm like, God, like, how am I going to go out and speak in front of 12 different cities around people that I don't even know? And I have this stuttering problem. And, some of my friends be like, I don't hear it, but see, I do. And I know that I have it. So that is a stumbling block. That's one of my internal struggles.
Okay.
But, I am reminded all the time. And again, that's why that Romans 8:28 is my favorite scripture, because I feel like, God places us in situations so that way he gets the glory, right? And as long as I continue to use my own personal excuse for not being able to deliver his message, then I'm not walking in my purpose, right? So I have to overcome that mental roadblock and that excuse that I give myself by doing what? Doing it, right?
Doing it.
And I tell my clients, do it afraid, just do it, right? Because we never lose. We're either winning or we're learning. And so when we learn from situations, it may not happen the way we thought it was going to happen. So we go back to the drawing board, we reassess, we take a look at it, and then we do something different. We don't stop. We learn from what happened at that time, and then we move forward with a different plan. So that would be one thing. Another thing would be resources. Because I'm a full-time entrepreneur. And so when I said I walked away from my job, I walked away from a job where I was making six figures. But I was sick. I had a pseudo brain tumor that I had developed. I had high blood pressure, depression, stress, migraines, all of that was happening during that time. So I walked away from that job because of the medical, all of the issues that I had started to build because of all of the stress to that to that job. And now I'm happier. I'm definitely broker, but I'm hey, 100% trying all the way real. But but I'm happy, and I'm at peace. And so resources was definitely a worry, because it's like initially until those sponsorship dollars start to come in, I'm sure with your radio show, you have to fund that out of your
Okay.
own pocket,
Yes.
until you start to get those resources in order to help cover the cost. We still got to fly to all these places. We still have to pay for our social media, our websites, and the venues have to be paid for. All of these things have to be paid for and secure. I can't wait until the day of the tour to say, okay, venue, I'm gonna pay you at the end based on who showed. No, they want their money now in
Now.
order to lock in the date. So resources was another barrier. But God just continues to remind me that when I tell you to do something, I'm going to make sure that you have everything that you need. And so when I get in a place, some days, I get in a place and I'm like, this not gonna work. This not gonna come together. I don't see the money. I don't have it. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna, eat over here. Like, how am I trying to put $50 over there? When I need it over here in my own household. Because being a full-time entrepreneur, is you only get paid when the clients come in. But if you don't
Yes.
have clients, then you don't have any income. So I just continue to just rely on the word of God. My grace is sufficient for thee. I'm going to supply all of your needs according to my riches and glory. I just continue to repeat those scriptures to myself. And my mom always tell me, don't worry about tomorrow. God has tomorrow. You focus on today. and you let God take care of tomorrow. And so I use some of those things as my motivation to just continue to move forward.
I love it. So those are only two Hendersons that you had? The two, the girl studying in the. Look, the finances was enough. But you know what? When I heard 12, I think when you told me on the phone, 12, man, 12 cities. She got some money or something.
Not a quarter. In the words of Daniela Coffee, look at this. No, ma'am. Not a quarter. But you
Oh
know
my
what?
God.
We Shalonda can testify that, and she can be a witness that, every time we think that something is not going to come together, another blessing just falls out of the sky. The guy that is coming on board to do the photography, he was like, you know what? I believe, not the photography, the videography. He was like, you know what? I believe in the mission. I believe in what you're doing. I'm going to throw in my services for not one city, but all 12.
I'm sorry, I just dropped my phone.
And not just the services. He said, I'll fly myself there. Just cover my hotel.
See,
Look at God. So it's stuff like that that then reminds me
you.
that God is all up and through this, right? And so when I get worried and I get frustrated, things like that says, no, he got me and he got this. Like this was ordained by him to happen.
Right.
So I just have to stay the course. I just have to stay the course. The race is not given, to the swift nor to the strong, but to those who endure it until the end.
All right.
So yeah, things like that happen. And now, how many people would do that?
Angels. There's
Come
no
on,
angels.
right? Nobody. Most people don't. But he was like, no, I believe in and he. You heard what I said? He believed in the vision of what we're doing and the lives that we're trying to touch and the whole domestic violence piece. So yeah.
Wow. Amazing. But that's who God is.
Isn't
Amazing.
it? Yes,
Amazing.
that is who he is.
More about this tour. Now, is it going to be a major focus on domestic violence? Is that
So the major focus is on dreaming big, setting goals, uncovering your passion and unlocking your purpose.
Okay.
So those are the main focuses. And domestic violence is just our platform. By us both being overcomers, survivors, we really have a heart for women that are either currently in that situation or that have come out but still have some of that residual effect on them, because sometimes that can be one of those barriers, right, that prohibits you from moving forward because you are so stuck in that mind frame of him saying, or her saying, you will never be anything without me. Nobody will ever take care of you and those kids that you have, or, a lot of that emotional abuse that you may, or verbal abuse that you may have experienced keeps you in a place of being stuck. So, it is our goal to help you get unstuck. Because I believe we have, and I say this all the time, you have everything you need inside of you already to win. You have it all already. It's just a matter of it's laying dormant. So we have to, my goal is to ignite that.
There you go.
That is within you to live again.
I love it. I love it. Now you mentioned about the domestic violence. Now, will you have components, because you mentioned those who may be involved in it or just come out of it? Will you have components to try to do preventive, preventing them from getting into a domestic violence situation, and meaning, of course, knowing what to watch out for, and so because sometimes our heart will just lead us, and before we know we involved in a domestic violence situation. Will you have components to help prevent?
Yes. So we'll have a piece about the signs of domestic violence, and in all areas, whether if it's emotional, physical, verbal, or financial. Because some people don't, they don't understand that financial piece. But you can be in a situation where it is domestic violence and it's financial abuse, right? They want to control all the money.
Come on.
You can't get a quarter unless you go through them, all the accounts. So yeah, a piece that will focus on the signs and preventative measures, and then resources, numbers, and places within their particular city where they can go to get additional help after the tour is over.
This tour can do so
Please,
in advance.
please.
Okay, because like she said, you can't go in there and saying, "Okay, I want to rent your place, but I can't give you money until." Like, what?
Right.
I
No,
think
no,
you need to turn
ma'am.
around and walk back out the door.
Yes. Next.
Right, right. There's somebody in the back of you, ma'am. Let them
Right,
come
exactly.
up.
Slide to the side, ma'am. Slide to the side.
My brother, stepping out on faith, Shalonda says, "Yes, ma'am. Moving forward with God leading." Let's see. Dreaming big, setting goals, dream again, and so on. I
Mhm.
love it. I love it, and I love the unselfish acts of you and your team. I
Mhm.
really do, because sometimes we be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it for me.
Right.
People don't pay it forward. They
Hmm.
don't try to help others out, and you see somebody out there drowning, and you don't throw a lifeline out.
Right.
I'm out. I can
Hmm.
get out the water. I'm good. I'm walking
Right.
on on the side of the beach or whatever. I'm
Hmm.
cool. But that person's still out there, and I think unfortunately sometimes people tend to do that. They
Yeah.
tend to just not even regard someone else or understand that they're probably in a situation that you just came out of or whatever. Pay it forward. Help somebody.
Yes.
That's to me. Her
Yeah, y'all
focus,
good.
what God gave her, is for the women, and it's so important. How important do you feel that this tour and what you're doing, how it relates to, and we've seen a lot of the, and I don't know how I can bring this in, but I do want to ask you this question about the oh my goodness. Yeah, they're stealing our young women.
Oh, the
They're
sex trafficking.
yeah. I was in Atlanta a few weeks ago, and I knew I heard this, but I guess I didn't really realize it until I was at the airport. They literally had, all the signs around. We don't, human trafficking. We don't agree with, or something. I can't remember the exact wording,
Hmm.
but it was just all over the airport. And I'm like, wow, it's that prevalent here. It's very prevalent there.
Hmm.
And I know there are other cities, other states that it's prevalent in as well. I was in Atlanta a few weeks ago, and that it just really grabbed my attention.
Hmm.
um, how can your tours, your coaching help in that respect? And is that something that you touch on, you deal with yourself?
So, I don't necessarily talk about that subject per se, but I will say that for those sex trafficking situations that are not like the kidnapping kind, right? Because you hear about some
Hmm.
where some women, some young girls were just snatched off the street kind of
Yeah.
thing. But for those situations where it is, I met this guy and I like him and now I've fallen for him, and then we go out for a while, and then I end up in a sex trafficking type of situation. For those kind of situations, I would say that our tour, the coaching, the messaging would be very effective for a young girl, or a woman that is affected by that type of sex trafficking situation, because we really try to look at what is going on internally, right? Because those predators, they prey on the weak area that you have. Like, they real good at discovering where the lack is. And that's why the book I was a part of would be effective in this sense, because it's 10 of us, it's a collaboration, and it is about um us growing up without our fathers being a part of our lives, and the emptiness and the void, and the low self-esteem, and just the blaming ourselves, right, that you go through as a young girl without your biological father a part of your life. And so someone who has experienced something like that would probably fall very quickly prey to a guy like that,
Right.
because they are feeling that void that they have by not having a father a part of their
Yeah.
lives. So I think that helping them to really know their value and understanding their worth would give them the strength that they need when situations come up like that. No, I don't need you to validate who I am, right? Because I already know who I am. So what else you got? Because telling me I'm cute, telling me I'm pretty, all of those things, I already know that.
Right.
I've already been told that. But a lot of young girls, right, there's a lack in that area. So when you start to feel that for them, then you the best thing since Wi-Fi, right? Like
Right.
you and don't buy me no shoes and no clothes. You own and pop it really now. So yeah, so being able to help validate them in those areas, and that's a part of what this tour is about too, is being able to look yourself in the mirror and be happy with the person that you see,
Beautiful.
right? Because at the end of the day, we won't be able to go smash, set goals, dream, have any type of visions or any of that if we don't like who we are.
Come on.
You have to love who you are, and in order to do that, right, we have to start to uncover some of those things that happened in our past, and we have to be able to overcome those things, right? But hey, we're healed by the blood of the Lamb.
That's
So,
right.
and so that will be part of our messaging as well, healing yourself from the inside out.
Love it. See,
Yeah.
I asked that question. I'm like, I don't know if it's going to relate or not, or how you can address that. That was perfect. That was
Hmm.
perfect. Because yeah, you definitely have to deal with individuals, how they are seeing themselves, how they're viewing themselves, and you can't get to the other steps if you don't have that self-esteem.
Yeah, because a lot of times it's not the enemy, but it's the inner me
But yes.
that is the problem. So we have to be able to deal with that inner person.
Okay.
My first lady preached a sermon probably about 3 weeks ago about the inner me, and how Moses was one who had these going on, low self-esteem and rejection and all of those things, but how God used all of those areas to propel him to be a great man of God. So there are examples and stories, not just in the Bible, but people around us. The more you talk to people, the more you find out, girl, oh, you overcame that. Oh, you got to, oh, wow. So if you can do it, then I can do it too. So that's what this tour is about, telling our personal stories of how we overcame the things that people go through every single day. And the more we testify and the more we tell what we did and the tools and the resources and things that we had to help us overcome, then you'll go home and say, you know what, if she did it, what, you know what, I can do it too. And so yeah, so that is the motivation behind doing this, just being completely transparent and being vulnerable to to other people, because when you start to tell your story, you are subjecting yourself to the opinion of other people,
Yes.
especially when it comes to domestic violence,
Yes.
because people be like, well, why didn't you just leave
Why
then?
didn't you leave like it was easy?
Right.
You weren't involved in it, and you have no clue what that
Exactly
person
why
dealt
I
with.
stayed,
Hmm.
so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're right there today. She's Wit. Thank you, Wit. Thank you. Stepping out on faith. Yes, ma'am. Moving forward with God leading. Let's see. Hashtag no sister left behind. Yeah. Oh my goodness, guys. This is a great session. I am enjoying. I'm gonna have to keep up with that tour next year when y'all sliding in
Yes,
and out of
please do.
these cities and states. Definitely praying God speed, and that you all are able to accomplish everything that you are have set to do.
Thank you, I
um
appreciate that.
do you have everything lined up, or you probably just continue working on your what you have set forth for the people? Is that a continual process until next year, or?
Yeah, so I have the general shell, if you will. But we talked about this on one of our team meetings. Someone asked if we had like our messaging, for each city, and my response was, I have the gist of what I'm going to talk about, but I really want to be led by God in each city, because what the people in Atlanta may need to
They may
hear,
not need it in Minneapolis.
it may be something totally different for the people in Detroit or in St. Louis or Minnesota or wherever the case may be. So, the shell of information will be the same. So everybody will leave with an action plan. Everybody will get the steps and the tools and things, but the message and how it's delivered and what will be said, I'm sure will be different for every city.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm hearing so much as you're talking on today. I do want to ask you in terms of the spiritual aspect in this tour and everything, because I keep you throwing out scripture. I'm like, is she a preacher? She.
I'm a PK.
Are you really?
I'm a
Well, you
PK.
did say that, duh. Because Jesus had them move somewhere else.
Yes,
But
girl.
okay, all right. So it's down to
Can you
you.
pray with me that he bring them back? Look, if any of
Look,
my daddy
look.
church people watching, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I know they go like, she still ain't got over that.
No,
How long has it
really
been?
not. 5 years. Girl,
Like,
look, and every
I'm
time
sorry.
we talk to my mom, be like, y'all move back.
Yeah, you're coming back. You're coming
Right.
back. Mm-mm. I did that with my older sister when they moved to Maryland, and then after a while, I stopped asking when they're coming back because they're still there.
Right.
Uh,
It's
it's been probably almost 15 years.
my mama was just there for Thanksgiving. She was like, oh, I got some good news for you. We found a house. We're about to buy a house. A house.
You want to
I'm
come right
like,
here?
congratulations. Thinking in my mind, oh, that means it's really permanent now.
After 5 years, I think so, Ed.
It's really
I
permanent
think so,
now.
Evan. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I think what I'm going to do actually right now is actually take a quick break. If you guys are just now joining us, Ebony Moncho is here, and she has come to get caught in a net, and she actually threw me in the net too. Accountability coach. Accountability coach, the speaker and author, and she has been just throwing out nuggets for us on today. Great information. Challenge your limits. You guys, don't let procrastination stop you. Find out your why, understand it. Just kind of give you a recap in case you're just now joining us. But we're going to take a quick break. I want to hear the spoken word from Elder Kevin McGee, which is slated for today's topic. Elder Kevin McGee has a show here at Intellectual Radio every Saturday, 12 noon Central Standard Time, entitled Connections. Take a listen, and we'll be right back.
Limits are things that are placed on us to make us think that we can't be any more than what the limit decrees. But I'm so glad that I don't have to live my life restricted by limits, but rather I make a declaration over my life that I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me. The bottom line is this: limits are for those slaves to the status quo, hindered by the challenges that we face that want to make us subservient to his whims. But I dare you to challenge your limits. Elevate your mind. Let faith take you to a height unseen and a depth unknown. No door shall be closed to you, because you have not only been empowered, but ordained to succeed and excel, that you might experience your limitless potential.
Right hand, I would do that, but I'm just going to do the left. Thank you again. That was wonderful. Very well put together. And I often tease him because he doesn't know who my guests are. He doesn't know anything about them. I maybe just, hey, they're on, they're going to be talking about this, and he's writing it out.
Oh,
So
wow.
I know that's a God-given gift that he has. So I
Very
appreciate it.
talented.
What did you think about that piece there?
I think it was right on point. I mean, a lot of the things that we've already said, it was like he was here,
Right.
beforehand or something. Like we pre-recorded this.
Right,
and,
right.
he made it up because he talked about the scripture that we've said, talked about challenge your limits, talking about the faith, and we've talked about faith. So everything that he said, just knowing that you have limitless possibilities,
Yes.
right? If you can just conceive it in your mind, we can achieve it. So I love it. Like, he was right on point with
Beautiful.
everything we already talked about. He
Beautiful.
said, "Where my check at?"
He says it every week. I think I'm gonna have to get him, like, the Monopoly money or
Oh
something.
God, where my check?
Your reward is in heaven.
Tell him he's throwing up.
Uh,
You're throwing up, Elder. You're throwing up.
he's throwing up. Hey, big brother Phil, I see you. Elder Philip, I appreciate you for watching on today. We're talking to Ebony Moncho. She is my new friend here, accountability coach, speaker, author, and she has this wonderful, wonderful tour that is coming up on next year, starting in January. 12 cities, 12 months. What was the other
And
12?
12 chances.
12 chances. Thank you very much. Go to ebonymontshow.com for information about her and all the things that she does. But for the tour, you can go to purposeandpassion.com. Is that right?
Purposeandpassiontour.com.
Purposeandpassiontour.com.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. Please check her out. She may be in your city, and you definitely want to either go yourself or you want to refer someone. Because if you've been listening to her on today, she definitely has a purpose. She has a plan. She does. And I'm definitely into it, everything she's talked about on today. And yeah, we are dreaming big. We're setting goals, dreaming again, and so on.
Girl, did you see what Elder said?
What do you say now?
He said, "Ain't nobody playing with a net. I'm jumping out of a
You
net."
jumping out of the well, the fact that you were in the net is a good thing. I was wondering why she was over here chuckling. I mean, she was really chuckling. Elder McGee, be nice. Be nice. I'm gonna have to get Dr. Karen McGee on you. So yeah, okay. I wanted to ask you now, in terms of the tour, or even in terms of just all the things that you've been doing. You've written a book. I'm going to talk about the book also, but how does the spiritual aspect play into everything? Because I mean, everybody don't listen to the spiritual aspect of anything nowadays. You have and you have coaches out here. You have life coaches. You have different ones, but sometimes they shy away from that spiritual aspect because they want people to listen to them. Because when you really look at the scope of things, the world doesn't want to hear
Right.
about the spiritual. They don't want to hear all those scriptures and stuff that you throwing out. They just want to hear something. um how important was that for you, for Ebony, to be able to make sure that the spiritual aspect was a part of what you're doing? How important was that for you? And then, was it a challenge for you knowing that you can get the pushback on the spiritual aspect?
So once I decided to walk in my purpose in terms of the Ebony Moncho Ignites brand, it was like, I am an unapologetic Christian, so I don't even ask for permission. It's like, that's who I am. And when I speak, I think because I'm so, and I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or anything, but I think because I'm so like girlfriend ish, I can deliver a message, and it. See, I can't. I grew up on the west side. I try to corporate because I still have a little of the residual of that west side chick. I think that a lot of people can relate to me in that way, and or I quote scriptures or things of that nature. You're already, as you say, in the net already.
Right.
I've already captivated you,
Yeah.
and so it's not like I'm not like putting that out in front. It's not like, hi, and I got this big sign on my head like Christian Ebony. No, I am, being my true self. And then, people just accept that because they've already grown to like me, or, like I said, if I'm speaking somewhere, you're already captivated. You're already attuned, in tune with what I'm saying. So it just like, yeah, girl, yeah, yeah, yeah. That has been the reaction that I've gotten, pretty much everywhere I speak, because I make sure that my messages are such that, I talk the language, I try to figure out ahead of time who the audience is. And so I talk that language. If I know it's going to be a younger crowd, then, I'm period poo, I'm all on their level. So that way I'm relatable. Even if I have, even if I say something about God or scripture or whatever, it's in such a way that you can relate still to what I'm saying. I don't lose you.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's
I love it.
how I do it.
Unapologetically Christian.
Yes.
I love that because, sometimes some people, they will, excuse my words, dumb it down.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to be on individuals' level, on their level, but
Right.
not even putting across what
Mm-hmm.
to put across. So they sometimes will stick the scriptures underneath somewhere and won't even pay attention. I love it. Elder McGee says you have to be spiritual in order to deal with things from the spiritual aspect. If it's a part of you, it becomes a part of everything you do.
Yes.
I agree. Um, He's a yes, West Side.
Yes, the West Side.
But yeah, it's just that sometimes you just come up against the opposition, and sometimes some people will back off of it.
Mm-hmm.
I even know some gospel artists, music
Mm-hmm.
artists. They'll start off strong.
Mm-hmm.
The spiritual aspect, Christian aspect, and then somewhere along the line they kind of let me kick that out.
Right,
Let me
because
kick that
see,
out.
the checks don't come as fast.
Right.
Right.
And so what is it? What is your why? What are you
Mm-hmm.
motivated by?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Because you can't just look at it, in the sense of, okay, I'm just in this to make money. Are you in it to
Right.
help change lives? I mean, it's a lot of things that you have to look at. And thank you for being unapologetically Christian.
Yeah, and that's why I love my team for the tour, because we were talking about like some of the sponsorships, and we've submitted a couple of applications, but in our sponsorship deck it talks about God and being a part, and how this tour has a Christian component to it. And
Lay
we
it
were
out for
talking
'em.
about how a couple of corporations have said no, because it's in there. And so I posed a question. I was like, well, should we change the sponsorship deck, so we can get the dollars? And Wit actually was the one. She was like, no. She was like, that was the whole premise and the purpose for the tour. She was like, no, another one of these transparent moments, because we think like, wait, I want to make sure this happens. So if we have all these sponsorships that's saying no because of it. And she reminded me, she was like, no, like that wasn't your vision. This was your vision, and we're going to stick to what the vision is. The right sponsorship will come along. I was like, come on, girl. Amen. Amen. Check me,
Right,
girl.
right.
Check me.
The accountability expert.
Yes.
To be
Check
held
me.
accountable.
Check me.
I love it. I love it. But yeah, that's why it is important to have your team and have
Yeah.
individuals with like minds.
Mm-hmm.
On your team, having the same vision, and to be able to pull you back in,
Right.
if need be, because we all need that.
Mm-hmm.
We all need that. Shout out Wit. Go ahead, girl.
Yes.
Working and listening. This is an awesome show. Thank you, Beatrice. She said we keeping God in it.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I know that's right.
Period, po.
Period. Exclamation point.
Yes. With the T. Period.
Period. I'm a mess. You are a mess. Wait. I can't get off now because I want to ask you something else. Lord have mercy. Why Ebony? Why Ebony? Why should we pay attention to Ebony? As I already mentioned, there are a lot of experts out there. There are a lot of coaches out there. Some are self-proclaimed coaches or whatever, or authors or speakers. Why Ebony? Why should we even? Why should they even listen to us today?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why you?
I think why Ebony is because I don't talk about situations that I've read about. I'm coming from a place of authenticity because I've lived it. right? I'm trying to motivate you, encourage you, empower you, and ignite you to a place where from a place where I once was to a place that God has allowed me to now be. So, I'm not the average coach who's saying, yeah, do this, do that, do this, yeah, that may work. No, I'm telling you to do what I had to do to pull myself out from the muck and miry clay, like my grandma used to say, right? You know, so I'm giving you real life, transparent information that is tried and true. So I think that's why Ebony, because I am transparent, and that is actually a part of my SMART goal method, when I am talking to my clients, not just your goals being specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, but I add in an extra T. They have to be transformational. Right. And I think that's why, Ebony, because I am bringing you what you need in order to transform. That's the whole reason why you want to coach anyway, right? You're trying to change. Right. And so, in order to change, I feel like you can't take me to a place that you've never been. You're just telling me what you read in a book. But no, I want somebody, if it was me, I want a coach, I want somebody that can take listen or not. My mom used to tell me all the time, girl, why do you have to pay for every lesson in life? Because that was me growing up. I had to pay, I had to buy every lesson. But see, now I understand why I bought every lesson. Because see, now I can help you not have to buy it. Because trust me, I paid top dollar for every lesson in life,
Wow.
And so now, been to jail, done that, promiscuous, done that, So I've been there, 19, 3 kids, done that, boyfriend in jail in my car. My mama told me not to, got arrested with a sawed off shotgun in the back seat car, in the pound. See, I've done
Done that.
all of that. So I know what that looks like. So I can help you now. Drug dealer boyfriend, that's all I like. That's all I was attracted to because I love the money. See, I've done that. So I've been that girl with the low self esteem who could have been caught up in the sex trafficking thing. So I know what she needs in order to feel fulfilled from the inside out. So I can talk to her soul because see, that was me.
Yeah.
It's only but God that I wasn't that girl that was out there like that. So yeah, so that's why, Ebony, because I got as we say, I got the receipts from my own life experiences to help you not have to go through that. So I can help you transform in that way.
That's why,
So
Ebony.
that's why, Ebony.
And she's gonna put you in the game. Coach, can I play? Well, come on over here. Let me talk to you first. Okay,
Oh my
let me make
God.
sure I'm not missing anything on here. As we're wrapping up today, I am so honored that you're here today and so appreciative of everything that you're sharing with us on this afternoon. It is definitely first and foremost a pleasure to meet you and to learn about what you are doing. Um, give me an example of a day in the life of Ebony.
We girl. Um, Day in the life of Ebony. Usually I am, helping actually some of everybody. Like, I can be at home, my phone will ring and it's a friend, girl, I need help. So I stop what I'm doing. I go to help that individual. I'm working on my business. I'm working on your business. I am on the phone encouraging a friend that may be going through something. Now a part of my day is helping my daughter with the new grandbaby. I'm so probably got some bags under my eyes now, lack of sleep. So it could be a myriad of things, but I am organized, because in order to hold somebody else accountable, right, I have to be able to hold myself accountable. So every day I have my to-do list, and I'm not going to bed until my items for that day is accomplished. So I have my week to do list, and then I have my daily list. And so I am, as I said, every day is, a portion of my day. I start off every day, no matter what, with my morning devotion. So I'm reading, well, our church is reading a proverb every day. So I do that. I have my, on the Bible app, I read my Bible plan devotion every day. And I'm either listening to TD Jakes, Sarah Jakes, Pastor Ty, somebody every morning. So that's my devotion. I pray. And then after that, then I'm ready to face the day, to see what challenges, what's coming my way, what fires I need to put out, what Olivia Pope situation I need to handle that day. And it could vary per day. But for the most part, it is devotion first. It is my business second, and then family is always in there, but definitely God first, family, business, and anything else that may come in between.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. I was going to ask you about your family because
Hmm.
sometimes we can have our hands in a lot of pots or have a lot of pots on the stove. Sometimes we can. Um, I've seen some people, how about I got to do this, but your family's over here.
Hmm.
But it doesn't sound like to me that your family is not being cared for. You just talked about you being up all night with this newborn.
Girl, I think I care for my kids too. Girl, look. You know what? And people would think that my children were children, meaning babies.
Right.
No, baby. My baby, he actually was on here. It's 25.
25.
25. My oldest son is 30. So you would think that I had babies
You don't
as
like you got
much
no
as
30-year old.
girl, my oldest son is 30. I told you I had him when I was 14.
Wow.
So, but family is everything to me.
Beautiful.
Family is everything. And I would, girl, I leave her walking right now on hot coal, barefoot
For your
to
family.
get to my family. And that is because my mom ingrained the importance of family and sticking together. So that's what my immediate family, my kids, my mom, like we say all the time, we all we got.
Yeah.
So you have to cherish that, and you have to treat it in such a way that everybody in the unit understands their part, but then understands their importance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's key because you don't want anybody left out.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's the youngest or the oldest or the middle child or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. You want everybody to feel that they're being cared for and
Mm-hmm.
to care for them. Um, yeah, this is interesting. I was going to say something else, but okay. Let me move on. Catherine, I see you watching. We appreciate you on as well. Again, go ahead, like and share this video. We are nearing the end of our show on today, and I do appreciate you guys for joining us. Um, but just make sure you share the live feed. That way, those who are not on live with us can be able to catch this later. We are talking today with Ebony Macho, and she is. As amongst many things, accountability coach. And what about this book? She's an author also and a speaker. What about this book? I wanted you to tell me a little bit about the book before we leave on today. Is this your first book?
Yeah.
Only book?
So the anthology, Dear Daddy, A Letter from a Successful Businesswoman, is myself and 9 other women who all have the one thing in common is we were daddyless. And whether it be because of just the death or divorce or just not a part of their lives, we all have our own story. But the important piece of the book is the fact that we use tools and resources and counseling. A lot of us went through counseling, like I know I did, and I tell anybody, counseling is key and it's important, and don't feel bad because you have to seek mental health services. It's not a bad thing. It's actually showing how much courage you have to want to see yourself be successful. So we talk about the tools and the tips and things that we had to do in order to become what we see as successful. So whether it's, because everybody defines success differently. So for you, it could be money, it could be fame, it could be fortune, it could just be a peace of mind. Just to have and that's what mine was, just to have a peace of mind, because those things will haunt you. When you're trying to figure out, like, why was I the secret child? Like, I'm not gonna tell you everything. You can get the book, go on my website if you want to read
Right. There
my
you go.
chapter. But I was the secret child of my father. So, that haunted me for a while. Why me? Was it something I did wrong?
Right.
So those things contribute to then who you become, and then what your behavior looks like,
Hmm.
right?
It does dictate
So
it.
yeah, so in order for me to change who I was, I had to go to counseling and really get to the bottom of the excuses that I continue to give myself, and all of the mental roadblocks that were a part of my inability to move because I was stuck,
Yeah.
you know.
But let me ask you, let me stop you right there. How did you even get to the point to even know that this is a hindrance to me and that I actually need to get some counseling for this?
Because I was in a relationship, and every relationship that I was in started to look the same, you know, and the only common denominator in those relationships was me. If I dated you, and you, but they all ended the same, or the same type of arguments happened, or I had the same feelings about when you said this to me, I had the same reaction. It can't be all of those individuals, right? Like the saying go, if one person tell you that your breath stink, it may not stink. But if 10 people start to tell you, you may want to check that thing out,
Get
right?
some gum.
So right, you may need some gum, maybe a pack. But so I started to look at that repetitive cycle that I started to see in all of in all of my relationships. And some of those, I dated some cool people that if I had got myself together a long time ago, but it was that, and I was like, okay, something is not right here. Something isn't going on. Like I need to figure out why I keep having this type of reaction when somebody says or does this to me, and I was able to understand through counseling that it wasn't just the daddyless situation, but it was the child, sexual abuse that I endured for 2 years as well. So all of those things started to come out,
Yeah.
those traumatic situations. So although I was 25-year-old Ebony, because that's when I sought out counseling, although I was 25-year-old Ebony physically, mentally,
Yep.
right, I was still stuck in that place where those traumatic experiences occurred. And so if you said or did something that was a trigger for me, then I would automatically revert back to that young girl when that trauma occurred,
Right.
So yeah, so that's how I knew that I needed to seek out some additional help, because I couldn't continue on that cycle. And it's hard to allow somebody to love you when you don't even love you.
See, now you're
So
saying something.
hmm
Now, you've been saying something, but yeah, that's an awesome point. And I'm listening to you though. And the reason why I asked you about how did you even get to the point of knowing that you needed counseling is because we there's so many, and I'm appreciative of the area that you're in now and how you are wanting to help, and you are helping individuals, because there's so many that are in that situation or similar situations that you had to deal with, that they haven't come to the realization that I need help. They haven't come to the realization that I may need counseling. There's a repetitive thing going on here, and I'm the common denominator. They haven't gotten to that point. Or they may have an inkling, but they don't want to own up to it, because as soon as you own up to it, then you have to deal with it.
Yes, that's right.
So I'm thankful to God that He has you in this position to be able to help, pull somebody else out, in that sense, because I always tell people the quickest way to get help is to admit you need it.
Help. That's it.
That's the quickest way. That's pretty much the only way, because sometimes you can be going on and on and on and on, thinking you're okay, but you're really not. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But you're slowly going down, 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 or what have you. Or those adverse situations keep coming up in your mind, and you keep reverting back, and you're stuck. You're just not getting the help you need. So I applaud you for that. is why I've been applauding her all day long. But but I'm grateful to God for the avenue that He has you in now. Let's see.
Elder McGee is a mess,
I
girl.
see it. She is empowering women gangster style. I love it. Tell the devil you are not taking any free.
None. Period.
But you sure enough telling the truth. I saw that comment. That McGee, I tell you. Gotta love him. Gotta love him. But yeah, it's pretty much what she's doing. But
Oh
she
my
has a heart.
God.
She has a heart to help individuals, and we thank God for that. So you guys make sure to check her out again, ebonymondshow.com, for the Purpose and Passion tour that's coming up in 2020. 12 cities, 12 months, 12 chances. Purposeandpassiontour.com. Let me go ahead and pin that comment so that they'll be able to check out your website and be able to get in contact with you, because she's doing great things, guys, great things, and we want to bid her Godspeed. Donate, help her out. This is she's going to these cities. She and her team, they're going to go to these cities, and you never know. You may have loved ones in those cities that you may not know will need her help,
Mhm.
that you may not know will need what they are going to give out in this tour. And it doesn't, to me, if my loved one is drowning out there somewhere, if you would want to go out and help them,
Mhm.
thank you. you know
Most definitely.
I'm not going to say no, it should be done a certain way or something like that. How God leads. So I said all that to say, let's eventually, and in other
Thank
ways
you.
that she may need it. If you're a speaker or sponsor, vendor, that are interested in any of these tours, we'd also put the information in there. Please make sure you contact them, and it's all for God's glory. It definitely is. Miss Ebony, we are at the end. Thank you again so much.
Thank you
I
so much
appreciate
for having
you.
me. I've had a blast.
Oh God, I've
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it tremendously. Now, are those one of the shirts that
No,
you
I actually
sell?
got this from
Oh,
someone else, but it says, "Won't he do
won't
it?
he do? Won't he
Won't
will?
he?
Won't he
Won't he
will?
will?"
She does have T-shirts on her website, so you can check that out
Yes.
as
Yep.
well. Let's support this young lady. She's doing a great work, and make sure you keep up with her. Mind, Body, and Soul is going to get out of here, guys. I do appreciate you, my listeners, watchers, viewers, those of you that have been inboxing me, your comments, your questions. We do thank you for joining us on today and supporting today's session. We'll be back on next week. Lady Beverly Woodard is going to be here in the studio, coming all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana.
One of our tour stops.
You see there? All right. She'll be here next week, and she's going to be featured in our ministry segment, ministry spouses segment. We've had a few of those on this year, and she's going to come in. She's a pastor's wife, but she's an awesome cook. She has her own some of everything. She's got her hand in so many pots as well. So we want to feature her on next week. Lady Beverly Woodard will be with us, and then the third Wednesday, the 18th, we're going to feature Dr. Hill. We're going to push her up a week. She's normally here every fourth Wednesday, but of course, the fourth Wednesday this month is Christmas, so we won't be here. So make sure you guys join us. We're going to end this year with these three beautiful women in December on Mind, Body, and Soul. We're already booking for January. You guys inbox me, hit me up if you are interested in becoming a guest on Mind, Body, and Soul. We would love to have you. And I'm excited about what God is doing.
Yeah,
I'm
me
excited
too.
about these visions. All
Yes.
right, we're going to make it plain.
Yes, that's right.
We're going to make it plain.
Right, and you're gonna get your 7 streams of
Come
income
on.
going. Come
Yes,
on.
we are. Yes, I am. Hallelujah. I received that. We're working on it. We're working on it. So again, thank you. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you. It's been awesome. Thank you to all your listeners for tuning in. I appreciate the
Wonderful,
opportunity.
wonderful. Hey guys, we're out of here. Until next time, I want you to soar and get caught up with a net. Get caught in a net with a net.